Hello and welcome to this workout. We're going to be doing a low back mobility and a core activation series. This is perfect for anyone who is struggling with some low back pain related to stiffness in the hips. Maybe you've been sitting in the car for a while. Maybe you just did a moving day. Let's begin. Coming down to the ground here, we're going to get into a four-legged position, or what we call quadruped, and you're going to curl your toes under, bring your shoulders back, and we're going to go into a gentle cat-cow. Making sure that we are bringing our head, our neck with us as we arch, and drawing our belly button in towards our spine as we round. Breathing in as we arch. Shoulders coming away from the ears, tailbone pointing up. Good arch and activation as we round through. We tuck the chin, bring your shoulders forward, belly button in, tailbone tucks. Getting loose here through that lower back, working our erectors, all of our back muscles, and our core, as we also stretch here. Now we're moving into a gentle bird dog. You might find you lose balance here. If so, take a nice wide stance, knees apart from the hips. We're going to reach opposite ends, engaging the glutes, and then we're going to pull forward, bringing our knee to elbow. It feels so good to move our body. And take things slow today, as slow as you need to. I go pretty slow. If you're someone who goes fast, you can always up the speed on the video. If I'm going too fast, you can always slow down the speed on the video. That's the great part about technology. Things can be customized. We're working about 5 reps on each side here as we go to our opposite end. Breathing in as we extend, breathing out as we tuck. You might find one side's easier than the other. That's pretty normal. Coming back to our quadruped position, when you are ready, we've got our hands down and we're going to tuck those elbows in so we've got a nice stable position, tucking your chin so you're flat here. And we're going to bring our leg out, and then we're going to twirl the knee in and bring it out again. Getting in some internal rotation of our hip. You want to bring your knee out as far as you can without dumping your pelvis and twisting all the way over. And about 5 reps on each side here. You can always do more if you'd like. If you're going faster than me, or you'd like to do a little more, you really want to listen to your body and do what feels right in that moment. If you hear cracking or popping, that's pretty normal. It's just your joints asking for more mobility from you. And we're going to bring our knees apart, our feet together, toes pointed down. We're going to bring our hips back to our heels. We're going to extend our arms forward, tucking our elbows in. We're going to hit a child's pose here. Dropping the head if you wish. Relaxing the back. Maybe gently moving your arms a little bit more forward. Feels really good. You might feel stretch through your side body. The lats here are stretching. That's a big muscle that generally will feel tension through the low back because of. Either it's tight or twisted. Depends on the situation. This video is really for anybody who doesn't really know the situation. Maybe it's not serious enough to go to the doctor, the therapist. Maybe you got a massage booked, but you want to do some mobility before you get to that point. We're bending the elbows here, bringing our hands into a prayer position. All we're doing is bring our hands a little bit back behind the head and forward. This works on that stretch of the lats. If you prefer to just keep your hands outstretched, that's another option here. We can walk our hands through to the side bending here, more contracted in the left side as your right stretches. You can tuck your head underneath your armpit. Taking big, deep breaths here. The bigger your breaths, the more your rib cage and your lats can stretch. Expanding through the abdomen, expanding through the rib cage and the chest, all of it. It feels so good. 5 or so breaths there, and then we'll walk it into the middle. Take a moment in the middle before you jump right to the other side. And we'll go to the other side when you're ready. Tucking under that armpit. Hello. And again, you might find one side is less tense than the other side, and you might want to spend a little bit more time on the side that is tense. We always want to do both sides at some point though, just so we can stay even and keep both sides mobile. We're going to gently walk up now as we've gotten through, sitting our heels back if your knees can handle it. If not, you can come up off your knees. We're going to slowly roll the shoulders back, so you can either be here or perhaps here. This will give a nice stretch through the hip flexors here. I'm going to hit this pose, or you can stay seated. We're going to roll those shoulders back, keeping our glutes engaged. That's going to stretch those hip flexors. Slight lean back, rolling the shoulders. Maybe feeling your hands against your pants, kind of making gentle circles here. And then we'll bring our hands towards our glutes. We're going to press forward slightly. Keep your pressure on your tailbone area. Don't really come up high to the lower back section. We want to stay low, keeping those glutes engaged, tucking those elbows in, and lifting the chest. Holding nice and strong here. Big front body stretch. Amazing. And we'll come back down. We're going to go into a little thread the needle position here. So all of this to start is body weight. So you might find relief with just this body weight section. We're going to reach for the sky, twisting slightly. The twist is totally going to depend on how much you can handle. So if it's a gentle twist, that's totally fine. Do a gentle twist, and we're going to hold for a moment here, maybe 5 seconds or so, and then we'll press back up. Inhale and reach for the sky. Come back down. Tuck and sit back. Nice and gentle here. We don't want to place all of our weight onto the shoulder. We want to have some weight through our knees, have some weight through our hand. Let's place down. And again, listening to your body, just making slight small adjustments. For example, I felt a slight pinch through my hip here. I'm noticing my hips aren't squared up. I'm going to square those up. You might want to tuck your toes under so you can get a good grab on your mat. All right, let's switch to the other side here. We're going to go up and through. Big reach. Look at your hand if you can. That'll bring your neck in. We're going to tuck through. A big stretch. It's going to get a stretch through your shoulder, your arm, all through the back of it. There, and that's going to travel through to your side body and into your lower back. All these muscles connect. They're all connected. Rocking out about 3 to 5 reps here. I'm doing 3. You could do 5. You could do 10. However many your body is needing. Listening to your body is a skill that can be developed through practice, through listening to the sensations that come as we stretch. Sometimes it's hard to label them as good or bad because some might be uncomfortable. Some might be hard to handle. So that concludes the body weight section of this in the stretching and mobility portion. Now we're going to use some of our tools. So some of the tools you'll be needing are a loop band, something that's thick and heavy that can hold your leg. And we'll also be utilizing a foam roller, something that's long that you can lay on. Mine is slightly short, so I'm bringing in a yoga block, but if your foam roller is long enough for your entire spine, you will not need the yoga block. And we'll also be utilizing the Yogu tune-up balls if you have just 2 tennis balls in a sock, or if you have the yoga tune-up balls, you can utilize those. You can keep them in the peanut shape, or you can separate them, whatever is more comfortable for you. We'll be utilizing those. Next, we're going to bring our foam roller into the mix, and we're going to do a spinal decompression exercise. So you're going to be laying on the foam roller. Now you'll want to approach your foam roller gently, especially if you're in current pain right now. You're going to make sure your head is at the spot where it's the most high if you are on unlevel ground. So I'm going to make a little adjustment there. I don't want all the blood rushing to my head. And then we're going to just slowly put our tailbone, put our butt sitting on the roller. You might find your feet nice and wide. We want to get our tailbone on the roller, and then we want to have our entire spine come against it. So just gently, gently lower yourself down. Beautiful. Little adjustment here. Get comfortable. And we're going to open up through the arms, exposing your palms and keeping your shoulders back behind your ears. Just a nice, relaxed compression here. You can feel the spine elongate. Feels so good. And take a moment of silence here. Beautiful. Rushing up and through. Now, as we're here, because we know it's all connected, we are going to work our upper back body slightly as our lower body sits here, opening up. Now we've got the tailbone placed down nice and even, making sure those hips are square. If you feel one hip reached up higher, just try to gently release it and let it flow down, activating your legs to keep you steady. Knees are nice and wide, feet are grabbing the ground. Yeah, get comfortable. Touch yourself if you need to. Give yourself a little massage. Get comfortable with your body. Let's raise those arms up and reach back behind you, making a Y. You might have a slight arch through your back as this happens. Let's tuck in through the core if that does. Inhaling as we reach nice and wide. Exhale as we go in to give ourselves a hug. You can maybe feel as you give yourself a hug, muscles reaching into the foam roller. You can have a nice little side-to-side sway if you want. Then we're going to inhale again and reach, making a little bit bigger of a Y, like a big, almost a U, just slightly wider. Yes. And then we're going to come back in, give yourself a hug. And you kind of want to reach down and get into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Wrap your arms around you as tight as you can. Okay, give yourself a really tight hug. Okay, you gotta give yourself the best hugs that anybody can give you, you know? And we all know that person that maybe gives the best hugs, but maybe you can give yourself that even better hug. Now let's reach wider into our T. Now our chest is opening, our shoulders are relaxed. Deep inhale here. Exhale, let it all go. Again, reaching down. Again, go at your own pace. If you want to just rep out these Y, T, A's, giving you our next position. Arms are going to go down right where we started, making that A or arrow with your arms opened wide. And we're going to give ourselves a hug again. I'm going to do these one more time. Again, if you don't want to do these again or they're uncomfortable, skip ahead to the next part of the video. If you loved it and you want more, do a little bit more. Pause the video. Just reach up. Give yourself a nice Y. You might feel spots that we're going to get into even deeper with the yoga ball here. If the foam roller is not getting it, just make a mental note that we're going to come back to those later. I'm feeling them in through my middle back, and we will be able to get deeper in there with the yoga balls, but not with the foam roller. Really working on decompressing here, so every time we big breath, big exhales to fully letting go. Wherever you are, come into the present moment. You're doing something for your body. You're doing something for your mind too. When you let your body relax and be in the present moment and fully take care of yourself, then you can be a better person overall. Just feeling yourself. One more last reach here as we come through. I'm going to just lower those elbows down, doing a little W here as we slowly bring our arms into the A position. Maybe one more time, reaching up, big big Y, and then we're going to bend the elbows into W. Awesome work here. Now to get off the foam roller, we don't want to crunch forward really hard and compress our spine. What we're going to do is we're going to roll off to the side. So tuck your chin, tuck your pelvis, engaging your core. We're going to bring your knees over. You're going to brace with your shoulder. And we're going to come over nice and gentle. Press up from the floor. That feels great, doesn't it? All right, let's release the foam roller. That's all we're going to be using it for immediately. And then we're going to go into our yoga balls. Keeping top of mind what we felt, we're going to go and bring our yoga balls anywhere along the spine that you needed. So perhaps you're feeling the need to go into this middle back area where the lats are connecting, but we really want to avoid this low back area completely with the yoga balls. If you do need the low back area, we're going to go into this spot here, which is really on the glutes. The glute medius up here or here, but we're going to avoid like that tailbone spine area because there's really no muscles to get to here. We have our erectors here, but it's just too close to our spine to really get relief there. Where most of the relief is going to come from is these glute areas and as well as this lat connection here. So we're going to go into that lat spot. And if for some reason you love the low back area, or if somebody told you to do it and that's fine, go ahead and go for it. But that's just not what we're going to be doing in this video. From my experience, it has not helped with lower back pain. So that's what we're going to just avoid today. Okay. Now as we melt into that yoga ball, you might be feeling some things right away. Now, let's take a breath through it. Allow yourself to sink into the balls. Don't roll around a ton and try to massage it out. Just find that trigger point, that spot that really calls to you, and melt into it. If you haven't found that spot yet, you can roll around a little bit on it. Just slight movements with your heels, moving your spine up and down the ball. And if perhaps it's more on one side than the other, you can do a gentle twist with your legs, pressing in with one leg, knees twirling slightly to the side, and coming back to center as really as gentle as you would like. Your balls are really going to be the determiner for gentleness as well. A soft ball is going to give you a soft massage. A hard ball is going to give you a hard massage. Pick the pressure that you like, that feels best in your body. I like a hard pressure, but for some other people, that's not what jives with them, and that's totally fine. We all have different bodies. Amazing work here. As we roll through, you might be feeling some sensations. Hold a spot for about almost up to 2 minutes if needed. You might feel jolting or like little muscle spasms releasing, almost like the opposite of a muscle spasm. It might twitch at first and then it just slowly melts. And it might be small, it might be a big release. It really depends. So listen to your body, and I'm going to tell you what my body is feeling just to kind of help you guide yourself as well. But if I feel a pain or a tension around the area that I'm rolling on, I try to follow it. So you want to follow where you're feeling the tension set off, maybe making an adjustment or a body position change. You just want to give yourself that ability to move and to follow where the tension is leading you. So for example, I'm feeling it in my left lower back. So the right side isn't really getting me much. I'm going to lift up into a bridge and make a quick adjustment, just taking my yoga ball and going straight with it. So it's only on my left side. Now from here, I'll lay back down on it. My right side's going to kind of collapse down first for a second. I'm going to square up my hips here so that my left side can take some weight. And we're going to roll back into that left side with the balls. I'm pressing into the heels as my knees twist. You might not be into the twisting. Maybe you just want to hang out for a moment. Maybe you just want to lay down. Again, find what feels great for you. I can tell it's definitely my lat that is responsible for this lower back pain I've been feeling, and maybe you're finding that maybe it's more your hips, maybe it's more your back. You can tell based on what's tight, what's hurting. You know, a lot of times we get what is called referred pain, so we'll feel the pain in an area, but it's really an area above or below that's causing the pain. It's just that the nerves of that joint are more in the area that we are feeling the pain, and those are what's sending the message that we are in pain. But sometimes it's not the one that's responsible for the pain. The body can be slightly confusing, but the more we get to know it, the better we feel. Moving. into the position here. Now, you might be feeling there's another muscle of your hip flexor, the Q line. It is a muscle that goes from the inner spine to the hips. And it is a deep muscle. It's pretty deep, but it is slightly under the lats, and you might be feeling that. If you feel like your hip is starting to release while you're rolling around your lower back, you might be on that spot, especially if you're feeling side body tension, release. All right, I'm letting my knee fully relax all the way, getting into that possible Q line, possible lat section. Now, wherever you are, take a moment and breathe. Big deep breath, relaxing down. Sometimes our minds are what need to give the body the signal to relax. Sometimes it's not what we do to the body, it's what we think of the body. So tell your body it's okay, you're safe, you can relax. We're going to make a slight adjustment here, and if you're not ready to, you don't have to, but I'm going to make one as we move from the lat into our glute. We're going to press through the heels, lift up, and we're going to bring that ball down into that glute medius area. And you have to pick one glute at a time unless you have the balls that separate. So you could separate your balls if they're in a sock, or if the yoga tune-up balls, you could separate them and put them on each side. But for now, we're just lifting up, taking our balls, and we're going to put them right along that hip crest underneath of it. And we're going to take our knee up, and we're going to do some external rotations with it. So bring it in, up and out, in, up and out. Keep your circles fairly small and controlled. If you find a spot you really like, you can hold it there and relax into it. My knee feels like it wants to come out. Maybe your body's telling you where it wants to position. I'm going to make a slight adjustment and lower my bottom right leg. Yeah. Bringing my knee out and up towards my chest with the balls there. Feels great. Releasing that glute tension. I can sometimes put our body into what is known as an anterior pelvic tilt. So our bucket would be coming forward, and there would be an arch in your butt, in your lower back, kind of making your butt look big. That is the anterior pelvic tilt. Bringing the knee up, out, and around. You may also bend your knee. This is a good one too. Bending your knee, putting your ankle on the opposite knee, and letting that hip get the massage while it's opened in this, we call a figure 4 position. It's so beautiful to be able to work our bodies and feel how they move and change with us, to go from pain to pleasure. Just doing some slight movements here as I rock my knee from side to side on the ball. The ball is still positioned in that glute medius. It's not on the tailbone, it's not on any bones or nerves at all. It's sitting on the muscle. And there are nerves in your muscle, that's how you're feeling it, but not a nerve center like the sacroiliac joint. We don't want it to go too close to some of our spinal nerve endings. Alright, one more on this hip here. We're going to lengthen our leg, and what you'll do if you want to get both sides, which we will get both sides, but you can either do one whole side at a time, or you can switch sides with each exercise. Alright, now I am slowly getting to my side here. We've got the yoga balls positioned still under the crest of the hip joint there, but now we're rolling with the yoga ball coming more into that side hip. And you might like it higher, you might like it lower. We're not in the leg, we're in the hip. And we're rolling just side to side gently to find the spots that feel good. Once you find it, you hold still. And it feels so good to relax. Now let's go into that other side. And you can start if you were on that lat Q line area. If you need to go to that side, you can start there. If you're not feeling anything, sometimes that happens. Sometimes you're not feeling anything. No release, no tension there. Maybe that's not the side that hurts. You probably did that side earlier, and then we can move quicker down into the other areas, just giving them light rolls. Doing the same thing that we did while we were on the other side. It's just there might not just be as much. It's good that we address both sides so we can see what is under there. You never know until you look under the hood. Alright, and slowly we're going to reposition that ball so it comes alongside the hip. Oh, we're going to bring it into the figure 4 before we lengthen. You might get more there. I'm doing a little more there, feeling a lot of tension release. That's nice. That's why we don't want to skip any. That's why we don't want to just go, because you might find something that you wouldn't have found otherwise if you were just skipping through. And sometimes we can't hear our bodies. Sometimes they're talking to us, but we're not listening because we're not used to that feeling. We're not checking. Lengthening the leg now here as I roll to the side. Roll with me if you want. I'm going to show you my back side here. I'm not going to switch sides so you can see the front, just because probably not so important you see my front. You're focused on you. Hopefully you can just listen to my voice at this point. I'm giving you cues. We're lying on our side. Head is resting gently on our arm. Top leg crossed over the bottom, and we're gently rolling on that side hip. Gentle side hip moves. Releasing the hip. And if feels so good to be able to release and move our bodies. I know this one's a little longer, but this is when you just really need some relaxation time. I'm watching the light reflect off the leaves. It moves as the water moves and light flickers on the leaves. It's so pretty. So take a moment to open your eyes and just be with where you are. Notice what's around you. It's beautiful. Coming back onto our back, we're going to release the yoga balls and we're going to do our final stretch. Now we're going to be lying on our backs. Now you're going to need your band and you're going to place it around your foot. Right? Awesome. You're going to hold on to your foot, lengthen the other leg, tuck your elbows down, let your shoulders relax too. You're going to straighten your leg and bend your knee. Straighten your leg and bend your knee. Repeating as many times as feels good. Somewhere between 5 to 10 times, okay? Taking our band in just one hand and then opening up through the side, we're going to do a side body twist. We're going to go through, bringing and guiding our leg over, opening up. This is our static stretch of the day, holding here as long as you need. Letting our glute release, letting our hamstring stretch, letting our back twist, and we'll open up and through. Change hands, but still guide with the other one. Nice straight leg here as you open up and through. Bend with the knee and straighten if you wish to make this slightly more dynamic. You might be someone like me who struggles with staying still. And finally, we're going to come back to the center here, bending the knee. And we're going to swirl around here. And if it's hard to swirl, you're going on your side. And you're going to wrap this over your shoulder and hold for the moment. Letting your shoulder release, letting your hip drop. Feeling the tension through the quad. Relax away. And slowly we'll loop back around, straightening the leg, coming onto your back, and looping to the other side. To do it all again, guys. This is our last stretch. Let's do this. Elbows tucked, shoulders relaxed. We're going to go bending the knee, straightening the leg. Hold straight as long as you wish. It's okay if your leg doesn't get up this high or if it's much lower. Just do what feels good to you. Do what your body can handle. We're going to open up, twisting through. You might find a nice gentle neck stretch if you look at your outstretched hand. Connecting with the floor beneath you, grounding down into that present moment. We can't relax if we're constantly thinking. Sometimes we have to just flow with it. Switch if you'd like, going to that outer stretch. Coming around to the middle. We're going to bend the knee, pull it through. We're going onto our side. Don't want to let the dogs out. It's not that kind of video. And we're going to bend the knee. Lifting through the chest. Shoulder relaxes. The band's kind of assisting that there. It's been so fun to relax with you guys today, to share with you some low back stretches that always help me to work mobility. We are going to finish out with some activation. I forgot this is the last stretch, but we are going to activate. So if you are just a stretcher, that's totally fine. You can end the video here, but if you want to make sure your core is turned on and so that your core is activated properly when you're doing any moves that might involve your low back, let's rock out 2 really easy peasy activation moves to go along with your mobility. You are lying on your back, your knees are bent at 90 degrees, your arms are up. This is called a dead bug. You're going to straighten one leg, engage the quad. Now, if that feels challenging, just do that. Straighten the leg, come back. Straighten the leg, come back. That's going to activate the core and the hip flexors. Now, if you want to take it up a notch, you can straighten the leg, move the arm back, come back to center. Now, the lower you go with your leg, the harder it is, and you can make it even more challenging by moving the opposite arm down with the leg as it goes down. Let's rock out 10 per side here. Just 1 set, guys. We can do it. Inhale as you reach your arm up. Exhale as you bring it together. Keeping that low back flat to the mat, engaging that core. Drawing down. I lost count. I'm feeling it now, though. 1 more I'm going to do. Just feeling that and relax. Awesome work. We're activated through that core for sure. Now let's activate through the glutes and stretch those hip flexors. It's a basic glute bridge. Your knees are bent. Your heels are by your bum. You're going to tuck your pelvis slightly under so your hips are nice and even here. Low back is flat. We're going to lift the hips to the sky. Squeeze the glutes. Lower back down slowly. Now, if this triggers any pain, try to work through it. See if there's something that you're doing. Maybe one glute is activating more than the other, and try to mentally acknowledge that and make subtle shifts. You are in control of your body. That's the thing we have to remember when we're in pain. It's that you are in control of your body. Sometimes your body is just being misunderstood. Sometimes our brains are what's telling our bodies to do that. And it's not that we bring the pain on ourselves. It's that subconsciously our bodies are doing movement patterns that we aren't even aware of. And when we become aware of movement patterns and we get stronger and we start to change them, that's when we can really reduce our pain. However, things are always going to happen. You may always twist or bend or move in quote unquote the wrong way, and our bodies can fight back and they'll tell you they didn't like that with pain. And that's all it is. Your body just telling you that it's in pain and that it had pain. After about 10 reps or so here, give yourself a hug. You did it. Thank you so much for joining me with this low back mobility and core activation workout. I hope it helped you with your stiff lower back or tight hips or tight lats. Now, this is going to be great if you want to come back to this workout in a couple days or maybe a week from now. That will definitely help your lower back with its full recovery process. And if you continue to have pain from there, always go see your doctor or your physical therapist to get a full assessment so that you know how to move your body the proper way and you can get custom exercises just for you. But for now, I hope that helped. Let me know if it did in the comments below. Take care.